Seduction is a game, folks, and most men are playing it blind. You know exactly what I mean. You see a woman you like. You try to be charming, respectful, funny. You text her first. You keep the conversation going. You compliment her. You do everything you were told good men should do. And somehow she gets colder, not closer. She laughs at your jokes. She enjoys your attention, but when it comes to real desire, she gives it to the man who barely says 5 words and leans against the wall like he owns the room. Let's be honest, my friend. It is not that she only wants bad boys. It is that you were never taught the rules. Seducing women is not about lines, looks, or tricks. It is about understanding the invisible game that is already happening in her body and her mind long before you speak. The micro-signals, the emotional rhythm, the way your presence hits her nervous system. Tonight, I am not here to flatter you. I am here to hand you the rulebook. We are going to break down the dark psychology behind female attraction and fuse it with Stoic control, so you stop begging for interest and start becoming the man her instincts lock onto without her even knowing why. If you are ready to stop guessing and start playing with your eyes open, stay with me. Let's get into it. Number 1. Stop chasing her approval. Let me talk to you like a man who has seen this play out for decades. Most guys don't lose in the game of attraction because they are unattractive, uninteresting, or too old. They lose because they walk into every connection starving for approval. And the moment a woman senses that hunger, something inside her switches off. Approval seeking is the fastest way to drain your masculine presence. It makes your energy feel light, predictable, and harmless. And harmless is not sexy. Let me show you exactly how this happens. Take a man like Richard, 57, from Texas. Successful career, owns his home, takes care of himself. But when he starts talking to a woman named Sarah, 53, everything shifts. He becomes overly agreeable. He laughs at things that aren't funny. He rushes to reply. He compliments her too early. He reads into every little emoji she sends. And worst of all, he treats every small signal from her like a big sign of interest. One time she says, "Hope you're having a good day," and suddenly he thinks she is into him. He feels this spark, and he starts pushing more energy toward her, trying to keep that spark alive. But Sarah doesn't feel it. Not because Richard is a bad man, but because his energy is coming from a place of wanting approval, not connection. Women feel this instantly. When a man is hungry for validation, he becomes emotionally transparent. She can read the desire behind every text, behind every sentence, behind every little joke he makes. And once she sees that there is no mystery left, no tension, no challenge, she knows she doesn't have to earn anything because he is already sold on her. This is what psychologists call over-validation. You place her on a pedestal before she has done anything to deserve it. And the moment you do that, she instinctively steps down from the game. Not consciously, not cruelly, but biologically. A woman is drawn to a man who values himself first, not a man who waits for her reaction to know his own worth. Here is what makes this even deeper. When you chase approval, you start projecting fantasies onto her. You imagine chemistry that isn't there. You exaggerate her interest. You turn small gestures into emotional promises. That projection blinds you. It makes you invest in a woman who hasn't invested in you. And without realizing it, you start training her to expect your effort while giving you almost nothing back. Now contrast that with what a Stoic man does. He follows Marcus Aurelius's principle: let your mind rule your emotions, not the other way around. He does not inflate a woman's value because she gave him attention. He does not let her silence define his confidence. He does not chase, convince, or perform. He observes, he evaluates, and he lets her actions tell the truth. When you stop chasing approval, your whole presence shifts, your voice steadies, your posture grounds. Your energy becomes heavier, more controlled, more masculine. You respond because you choose to, not because you hope for a reward. You stop treating her like a prize and start treating yourself like one. And ironically, that is when she becomes interested, because you finally stop acting like you need her to feel like a man. If this hits home, drop a comment and write, "I stop chasing. Stay with me." The next part reveals the secret women react to before a single word leaves your mouth. Number 2. Let your presence turn her on. All right, my friend, let's slow this down and get into something most men never understand. Women feel your presence long before they process your words. Long before they decide whether they like your jokes, your interests, or your stories. They are already reacting to the way you exist in the room. Your posture, your rhythm, your stillness, your breathing, your tone, the way you hold eye contact, all of it hits her nervous system in the first few seconds. Attraction starts there, not with clever lines or compliments. Most men sabotage themselves because they rush. They talk too fast, they explain too much, they move too anxiously, they smile too widely. Their energy screams, "Please like me." And nothing kills feminine desire like a man who looks like he is auditioning. A woman doesn't want a performer, she wants a presence. A presence she can feel, a presence that settles into the space instead of scrambling to fill it. Here's the thing most men never learn. Women do not judge you the way you judge yourself. You focus on your age, your hairline, your body, your money, your status. She is looking at something completely different. She is reading your internal rhythm. She's sensing whether you are grounded or scattered, calm or needy, slow or frantic. She reacts instinctively to your self-control, not your self-description. This is exactly where Stoic philosophy becomes a superpower. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." A man who is calm in his own body radiates a kind of masculine stability that a woman feels instantly. When you stand tall, breathe deeply, speak slowly, and move intentionally, you create an atmosphere around you. And an atmosphere is more seductive than any scripted charm. Your presence becomes attractive when it communicates 3 things. I am comfortable with myself. I do not need your reaction. I move at my own pace. That triggers her curiosity, her instinct, and yes, her desire, because now she has something to explore, not something already spilled out in front of her. Let me lay it out even clearer. Imagine 2 men walking into a room. One walks in fast, big grin, over-eager energy. He talks before he even sits. He tries to fill every silence. That man is already disqualified in her mind. Not because he is bad, but because his energy feels light and unstable. The other man walks in steady. He looks around, not nervously but with awareness. He sits with a slow exhale. He speaks only when he's ready. He doesn't chase the moment he owns it. Women feel that difference instantly. Presence is not loud. Presence is weight. It's the sense that you are not performing for anyone. And here's the part that flips the entire game. When your presence is strong, you don't have to prove interest. She feels it through your eyes, your confidence, your silence. When your presence is weak, you can talk for hours and she will still feel nothing. Remember this. Attraction begins in the body, not the conversation. You don't seduce her by trying harder. You seduce her by being a man who is fully in himself. Calm, grounded, slow, certain. If this resonates with you, drop a comment and write, "I build presence." Stay tuned. The next part shows you how mystery becomes your greatest weapon. Number 3. Use mystery to pull her in. Let me tell you something most men never figure out, my friend. Women are not drawn to what they fully understand. They are drawn to what they sense but cannot quite define. Mystery is not about being confusing or distant. It is about being a man with depth, layers, and a life she cannot immediately decode. And when you carry that kind of energy, She leans in without even realizing why. Let me give you a real example. Kevin, 54, from California, told me he used to lay everything out in the open when talking to women. He shared his intentions right away, explained his past, over-clarified his personality, and tried to make sure the woman understood exactly who he was. He thought transparency would make him trustworthy. Instead, it made him predictable. The woman he was interested in, Melissa, 51, always responded politely, but she never showed interest beyond the surface. She felt no tension, no spark, no curiosity, because Kevin left nothing for her imagination to work with. Women fall into curiosity the same way men fall into visual attraction. It is instantaneous. For a woman, mystery is emotional oxygen. When she cannot read you, when she cannot predict you, when she senses there is more beneath the surface, she starts thinking about you long after the conversation ends. And that thinking creates feeling. So what created this shift for Kevin? He stopped over-explaining. He stopped trying to prove he was a good man. He started answering questions, simply letting silence breathe and revealing small pieces of himself instead of emptying his entire story in one conversation. And something interesting happened. Melissa leaned forward. She asked more questions. She paid more attention. She studied his tone, his pauses, his expressions. The moment Kevin stopped being fully available emotionally, her curiosity woke up. And when curiosity wakes up, desire is not far behind. Mystery does not mean withholding affection. It means living from a place of quiet confidence. You share what matters, but not all at once. You reveal yourself slowly, naturally. You don't rush to fill silence. You don't scramble to impress. You let her feel that you are a man with a world she does not control. And that world becomes fascinating to her. This is where dark psychology and Stoicism overlap. Carl Jung wrote that people are attracted to the parts of others that mirror what they lack. A mysterious man triggers that mirror. She projects, she imagines, she fills the gaps with her own desires. And Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When she thinks about you, she starts feeling you. When she feels you, she starts wanting you. Mystery is simply giving her the right amount of space to paint her own picture of you. Men ruin this by oversharing, over-explaining, or over-texting. They try to force connection, but a woman falls deeper when things unfold slowly. When she senses there is more she hasn't seen yet. When your presence suggests depth she wants to discover. Think about this, my friend. The characters in movies who women obsess over are not loud, needy, or overly expressive. They are calm, composed, selective with their words. They reveal themselves at their pace. Their silence carries weight. Their gaze holds intention. That is mystery. If this hits home, drop a comment and write, "I create curiosity. Stay with me." The next part shows you how to stay solid when she tests your strength. Number 4. Stay calm when she tests you. Let me tell you something straight, my friend. Every woman tests a man not because she wants to break him, but because she wants to feel him. She wants to see how solid you are, how grounded you are, how steady you stay when the moment gets uncomfortable. These tests are not about winning or losing. They are about revealing what kind of man you are under pressure. And the men who fail, they fail because they react, they get flustered, they over-explain, they defend themselves. They try to fix something that was never broken. Women test through silence, sarcasm, small contradictions, emotional shifts, unexpected questions, and moments where they pull back just to watch what you do next. None of this is malicious. It's instinct. It's the feminine searching for stability. She wants to feel the difference between a man who collapses at the smallest hint of tension and a man who knows who he is regardless of her mood. Here's where Stoic philosophy becomes your armor. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And that is exactly what a test measures: your self-mastery, not your charm, not your effort, not your eagerness. Your ability to stay calm in the middle of her emotional storm. The calmer you are, the more her instincts relax. The more grounded you remain, the more she feels drawn to you. When you show no spikes in emotion, no panic, no defensiveness, no neediness, you become someone she can trust without thinking about it. Most men make the same mistake. They interpret her test as rejection, so they rush to clarify, justify, or fix. They panic when she falls silent. They chase when she pulls back. They explain themselves when she challenges them. All of this reveals exactly what she hopes you'll hide: insecurity. A woman does not test to hear your explanation. She tests to feel your reaction. Your emotional stability is the attraction. Let's break down what calm really looks like. Calm is answering slowly, not instantly. Calm is holding eye contact without forcing a smile. Calm is letting silence breathe instead of filling it with nervous words. Calm is shrugging off small contradictions instead of debating them. Calm is responding with intention instead of urgency. A man who stays calm communicates one thing: "I am not moved by pressure." And a man like that triggers something deep inside a woman: instinct, safety, desire, respect. Remember this. When she tests you, she is not asking you to prove yourself. She is asking you to reveal yourself. If you pass, the connection gets deeper. If you fail, it slips into imbalance. Staying calm is not strategy. It is masculine presence in motion. Now here's something I want you to hear clearly. If you want the advanced breakdowns, how to read different types of tests, how to respond with masculine composure, how to use Stoic principles to stay grounded, and how to guide the emotional rhythm in a way most men never learn, make sure you join the channel membership. That's where I teach the deeper layers that transform the way women feel around you. If this resonates, drop a comment and write, "I stay calm." Stay with me. What comes next reveals how women manipulate your dopamine and how to take that power back. Number 5. Break her dopamine control. Let me level with you, my friend. A lot of men think a woman is losing interest when she slows down her replies or becomes a little distant. But what's really happening most of the time is something far simpler and far more dangerous. You've slipped into a dopamine loop she controls without even trying. One notification from her gives you a hit. One dry message lifts your mood. One silence from her ruins your day. That's not attraction. That's chemical dependency. And until you break that pattern, you won't see her clearly, and she won't feel you as a man. Let me give you a real example. Daniel, 56, from Washington, fell into this exact trap with a woman named Alyssa, 52. She wasn't playing games. She wasn't cruel. She simply replied when she felt like it. Sometimes warm, sometimes short, sometimes hours later. But every little message from her hit Daniel like a reward. He would be at work trying to focus, but the moment his phone lit up with her name, his chest tightened and he felt that wave of excitement. It wasn't romantic, it was neurological. And when she went silent for a day or two, he felt restless, distracted, even anxious. That is the dopamine loop, the same chemical pattern people fall into with gambling, scrolling, and addictive habits. Meanwhile, Alyssa wasn't thinking about it. She simply responded at her pace. Daniel was the one giving her unconscious control over his emotional state. And you already know what happens when a woman feels a man is emotionally dependent on her attention. Attraction collapses, not because she wants him to suffer, but because neediness signals instability. Masculine strength disappears the moment your mood becomes tied to her message schedule. Here's the truth you need to hear. A woman isn't attracted to a man who waits by his phone. She's attracted to a man whose world keeps spinning, whether she shows up or not. That contrast between her intermittent signals and your steady emotional state is what resets the dynamic. When you break the dopamine loop, she stops having unearned psychological power over you. And that shift is what flips the polarity back into your hands. So how did Daniel break the loop? He didn't block her, ignore her, or act cold. He simply reclaimed his rhythm. He left his phone in another room while working. He stopped checking for notifications every 30 minutes. He answered when he felt grounded instead of when he felt anxious. And most importantly, he filled his schedule with things that fed his mind and body. Morning workouts, longer work blocks, evenings with friends. Within a week, something fascinating happened. The messages from Alyssa didn't hit him the same way. They were just messages, and because they no longer dictated his emotional weather, he responded from strength instead of need. And here's the twist. As his attention became less automatic, Alyssa began leaning in more. She asked where he had been. She initiated conversations. She invested because she could feel his emotional independence. That independence created tension. That tension created desire. And none of it required manipulation, just self-command. A Stoic mindset ties this together. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When your thoughts belong to you, not to her timing, you regain your power." If this hits home, drop a comment and write, "I break patterns. Let's keep going." The next part shows you how to build the kind of masculine power women feel immediately. Number 6. Build power she feels instantly. Let me talk to you honestly, my friend. Women don't fall for a man because he talks big, tries hard, or shows off. They fall for a man whose power they can feel the moment he enters the room. Not loud power, not aggressive power, not "look at me" power. I'm talking about internal power, the kind that sits in your posture, your breath, your silence, your decisions, and the way you carry yourself without trying to impress anyone. Most men misunderstand this completely. They think power comes from attention, status, success, or even age. But the truth is simpler. A woman feels a man's power through the stability of his nervous system. When you're calm, deliberate, and grounded, she senses it instantly. Your energy becomes heavier. Your presence becomes clearer. You start influencing the atmosphere instead of reacting to it. And women respond to that on an instinctive level they don't even have words for. Here's the problem. Most men live in a state of emotional reactivity. They talk fast, move fast, respond fast. Their breathing is shallow, their focus jumps from thought to thought, and their decisions come from nerves rather than intention. You can be a successful man in life, but if your internal world is shaky, a woman feels that instability before you ever open your mouth. This is where Stoic philosophy becomes your greatest weapon. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When you truly absorb that, something shifts. You stop rushing. You stop reacting. You stop letting a woman's mood, silence, sarcasm, or tests throw you off balance. And the moment you stop being pulled by the external world, your internal world starts radiating outward with quiet authority. That is the exact moment a woman feels your power. Let's break this down so it becomes real for you. Power is moving slower than other men, speaking with intention, not urgency, making eye contact without needing a reaction, letting silence linger without discomfort, standing tall even when the moment feels uncertain, choosing your words instead of spilling them, never explaining yourself out of fear, breathing deeply when others tense up. Women feel this because it signals one thing: you are a man in command of yourself, and a man in command of himself becomes a man other people naturally respond to. Dark psychology calls this soft dominance, not force, not intimidation, but a steady psychological gravity that pulls attention without demand. You're not chasing her, you're not performing, you're not trying to win a moment, you're simply holding your frame, and your frame becomes the strongest presence in the room. Here's what most men never grasp. When your inner world is disordered, your outer world collapses. When your inner world is ordered, your outer world aligns. Jordan Peterson puts it simply, order your soul and you will order your life. Women feel that order. They feel the strength behind it, the certainty inside it, the stability beneath it. That is masculine power. And once a woman feels that power, she reacts to you differently. She becomes softer around you, more curious, more respectful, more attentive. Because your presence isn't chaotic. It's safe, it's grounded, it's masculine. If this speaks to you, drop a comment and write, I build power. Stay with me. The next part shows you how to lead the emotional rhythm she instinctively follows. Number 7. Lead the energy she follows. Let's get into something most men never understand, my friend. Women do not just respond to your words. They respond to your energy. Not the loud, hyped-up kind, and not the needy, emotional kind. I'm talking about the rhythm you bring into the interaction, the pace you move at, the emotional temperature you hold, the atmosphere you create without saying a word. A woman follows a man's energy the same way a dancer follows the lead. If your energy is scattered, she becomes uncertain. If your energy is frantic, she becomes distant. But if your energy is grounded, calm, and deliberate, she naturally aligns with it. Let me make this real with a situation many men your age have lived through. Take someone like Mark, 58, from Arizona. He met a woman named Laura, 55. She was warm, playful, and curious at first. But every time they talked, Mark's nerves kicked in. He talked too fast, jumped topics, tried too hard to entertain, and reacted instantly to everything she said. Even though he was a strong man in real life, financially stable, disciplined, respected, his energy around Laura felt shaky, and Laura, without fully knowing why, pulled back. Not because she disliked him, but because she couldn't feel his leadership in the emotional space between them. Now, contrast that with what happened when Mark shifted his energy. He slowed down. He let pauses breathe. He spoke with intention, not urgency. Instead of matching her emotional swings, he held his own steady pace. And something fascinating happened. Laura softened. She leaned in more. She shared more. Her energy synced with his because he was finally leading the rhythm instead of reacting to hers. Here's what most men don't realize. A woman's emotional state is fluid. It moves, it changes, it tests. She wants to feel the man beside her, stay steady through all of it. When you lead the energy, you give her something to follow, something to trust, something to melt into. That's masculine polarity in motion. Dark psychology describes this as emotional pacing, but it's not manipulation. It's presence. It's you creating the emotional climate of the interaction. If you get nervous when she gets distant, you lose leadership. If you become reactive when she becomes moody, you lose leadership. But if you stay calm when she shifts, speak slowly when she rushes, and stay grounded when she feels chaotic, her instincts respond to you, not her thoughts. Women are not attracted to chaos. They are attracted to the man who can hold chaos without losing himself. This is why the Stoics called emotional control the highest form of strength. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free," and a man who is emotionally brave, unshaken by moods, silence, or tension, gives a woman the freedom to relax into her feminine side. She becomes more playful, more open, more responsive, because your energy guides the dynamic instead of depending on it. Think of it this way. When two people talk, one person sets the pace, Either she leads it or you do. If she leads, the dynamic becomes unstable. If you lead, everything becomes smoother, lighter, more charged. A woman will follow a man's energy when he gives her something strong enough to follow. Not dominance, not pressure, just calm masculine rhythm. If this resonates, drop a comment and write, "I lead energy." Let's keep going, my friend. The next part shows you how silence and slowness can become your most seductive tools. Number 8. Seduce with silence and slow pace. Let me tell you something most men never realize, my friend. Silence is not the absence of game. Silence is the game. And when you combine silence with a slow, deliberate rhythm, you activate a part of a woman's mind that words can't touch. Women are not turned on by over-explaining, oversharing, or filling every moment with noise. They are pulled in by the man who knows how to let a moment breathe. The man who doesn't rush. The man who takes his time. Most men move too fast because they're nervous. They talk quickly, answer instantly, react immediately, and try to keep everything smooth and comfortable. But comfort doesn't create attraction. Tension does, and tension is born in silence. When you let a pause sit not awkwardly but confidently, you give her space to feel you. She starts wondering what you're thinking. She starts paying attention to your eyes, your posture, the weight of your presence. That's where desire begins. Here's the part that flips the script. Silence makes her imagine. Slow pace makes her anticipate. And anticipation is one of the strongest psychological triggers in female attraction. This is where Stoic philosophy becomes your secret weapon. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The closer a man is to stillness, the closer he is to strength." Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is power. A man who can stay quiet without feeling insecure shows a level of internal control that hits a woman's instincts instantly. She feels grounded around him. She feels less pressure. She feels more drawn in. Dark psychology calls this controlled pacing. It means you move at your rhythm, not hers. You let your words come slowly. You let your breath deepen. You let silence sit between sentences. You choose moments carefully instead of rushing to fill them. The goal isn't to be mysterious or cold. The goal is to make her feel your presence in a way that's deeper than any verbal charm. Let me show you how this works in real life. When she asks you something, you don't respond instantly. You hold a second, maybe two, not to play games, but to show you think before you speak. When she looks at you, you don't break eye contact first. You relax into it. When she talks quickly or emotionally, you slow yourself down even more. That contrast makes her lean into your pace. She follows your energy instead of leading it. Most men think silence is awkward because they are afraid of being judged. But a man who uses silence well communicates confidence. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to be myself. And that attitude hits her harder than any compliment. Slow pacing also makes your movements more seductive. When you walk slower, breathe slower, and speak slower, your body language becomes heavier, more intentional, and more masculine. She picks up on it subconsciously. Your slowness makes her speed feel loud. Your calm makes her excitement grow stronger. Silence and slow pace create a psychological frame where she pursues emotional closeness. She fills the gaps. She asks more questions. She stays more invested. Because now she isn't just hearing you, she's experiencing you. This is how mature masculine presence works. At your age, your strength is not in chasing, it's in guiding. Not in talking, in holding. Not in speed, in patience. If this resonates, drop a comment and write, "I move slow." Don't go anywhere. The next part teaches you how to show value without ever trying to prove anything. Number 9. Show value without trying. Let's get honest for a second, my friend. Most men try way too hard to prove they're valuable. They talk about their accomplishments, their careers, their past relationships, their plans. They drop hints about how good they are, how loyal they are, how different they are from other men. But here's the reality: the moment you start trying to show value, you lose it. Women don't respond to words. They respond to energy. They respond to how you carry yourself, not what you advertise about yourself. Let me show you a real situation that hits home for a lot of men your age. Patrick, 59, from Ohio, started talking to a woman named Denise, 56. She was sharp, confident, and used to being chased by men who wanted to impress her. When Patrick met her, he felt he wasn't enough yet, so he tried to overcompensate. He told her about his business, wins, his hobbies, his travel history, his fitness routine. Nothing braggy, but definitely performance mode. He thought he was showing her he was a high-value man. But Denise didn't lean in. She stayed polite, friendly, but emotionally distant. Not because Patrick was lacking, but because he was trying. Trying is a signal, and a woman feels it instantly. When a man tries to prove himself, she reads one thing: insecurity. She doesn't care about the trophies. She cares about the energy behind them. Now here's what changed everything. Patrick stopped performing. He stopped trying to qualify himself. He shifted into being instead of proving. In one conversation, Denise asked, "So, what makes you different from most guys who message me?" Before, he would have given a long, well-thought-out answer. But now he just smiled and said, "I don't really talk about myself that way. You'll figure me out as we go." Then he paused, took a sip of his drink, and let the silence sit. That one moment flipped the dynamic. Why? Because he showed value without explaining it. He didn't defend himself. He didn't perform. He didn't rush to impress her. His confidence was quiet, not loud. And quiet confidence is the most attractive kind. Women are drawn to a man who acts like he has nothing to prove. That doesn't mean being cold or arrogant. It means you know who you are, and you don't need her reaction to confirm it. When you carry yourself like a man who is already enough, she feels that strength. She becomes more curious. She invests more. She leans in because your energy tells her you're the one evaluating, not the one begging to be evaluated. That's the difference between trying to show value and naturally radiating it. Here's what natural value looks like. You answer questions simply, without over-explaining. You don't rush to fill silence. You don't compliment her early just to win her over. You let her earn information about you. You reveal your life gradually instead of dumping it. You let your actions speak louder than your claims. And here's something deeper. When a man reaches his 40s, 50s, or 60s, value isn't about flash. It's about emotional weight. It's about carrying yourself with maturity, stability, and certainty. That's what separates you from younger men. That's what women your age crave. When Patrick stopped proving himself, Denise finally saw the real him, not the performer, the man, and that's when her attraction began. If this hits home, drop a comment and write, "I show value." Let's keep going. The next part shows you how to become the man her mind can't stop reading. Number 10. Become the man she can't read. Let me tell you something that flips the entire game, my friend. A woman is not obsessed with the man she understands. She is obsessed with the man she can't quite figure out. Not because he is confusing, but because he is layered. Because his emotions don't sit on the surface. Because his intentions aren't obvious. Because his presence has a quiet gravity she can feel but not fully decode. That uncertainty is not weakness. It is magnetism. The biggest mistake men make is being too easy to read. They reveal their feelings too quickly. They express their intentions too openly. They show interest before she earns it. They explain every little reaction, hoping it will make things clear. But clarity, when given too early, kills tension. And tension is the birthplace of attraction. A man becomes unreadable when he lives from the inside out, not the outside in. When his internal world is strong enough that he doesn't need to broadcast every thought or emotion, He speaks less, observes more, and lets the moment unfold instead of trying to steer it. Women sense that instantly. They feel his presence, but they can't predict it. They feel his attention, but they can't map it. He gives enough to keep the connection alive, but never so much that she feels she has fully figured him out. This doesn't mean acting distant. It means being intentional. You reveal your thoughts slowly, not because you're hiding, but because your life isn't meant to be dumped out in the first conversation. You show interest through action, not through explanations. You express emotion without performing it. You let silence say what your words don't need to. Here's the deeper truth. A woman becomes addicted to the emotional puzzle. When she can't read you, her mind keeps working. She studies your vibe, your pacing, your reactions. She watches how you carry yourself when you're quiet. She has to earn access to your inner world. And the moment she feels she is earning something, she becomes invested. In dark psychology, this is called controlled unpredictability, not games, not manipulation. It's the ability to stay just one emotional step ahead. She never feels unsafe, but she never feels fully in control either. You're consistent in character, but not predictable in expression. That difference pulls her in a way men seldom understand. Stoic thinking ties it all together. Seneca wrote, "A wise man is never too eager to speak." Stoic men are not unreadable because they are cold, but because they choose their words carefully. They think before they reveal. They protect their inner world instead of spilling it out for approval. And that quiet protection creates an aura of mystery, an aura mature women find irresistible. Here's what becoming unreadable looks like in practice. You don't rush to explain your feelings. You don't reveal your scheduled thoughts or intentions too quickly. You stay calm when she seeks emotional reactions. You speak less but with more weight. You share stories gradually, not as a performance. You show interest, but keep your emotional world centered within yourself. A woman is drawn to the man whose intentions she can feel, but not fully define. That is the man who lives in her mind long after the moment ends. That is the man she thinks about at night. That is the man she wonders about the next morning. Become the man she can't read, not because you're trying to hide, but because you're too grounded to need to be understood instantly. That is the kind of man she chooses. That is the kind of man she chases. Here's the truth, my friend. Everything you learned today was about mastering the quiet rules behind attraction. You saw how approval-seeking kills desire, how presence shifts a woman's instincts, how mystery creates tension, how tests reveal your strength, and how emotional control puts you back in the lead. These are the pieces most men never understand, and once you apply them, the entire dynamic with women changes. If you want the deeper tools, the advanced psychology, and the private lessons I can't share publicly, make sure you join the channel membership. And if you want to keep growing with me every day, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new video. Thank you for watching, my friend. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you tomorrow.